Hey everyone, welcome back to Behind the Grape and happy holidays to you all. We're heading into our holiday week. Tonight I wanted to look at a local wine, and when I say local, I'm talking about Canadian local, and we're going to head to British Columbia. But before we get into it, I just want to point out for my good friend Scott Cuthbertson, who's always saying I should be wearing a flat brimmed hat. I threw on the flat brimmed hat for you tonight, Scott. So if you're watching, this one's for you, representing another friend of mine, but did this for Scott. The wine that we're going to look at tonight comes from a winery that is near and dear to my heart. It arguably could be the first winery that I ever went to back in my youth. I remember I was at SAIT in Calgary studying hospitality, and we did a trip to the Okanagan, and we went to this winery. And the winery is Mission Hill, and the wine we're going to look at tonight is their Reserve Shiraz. So I remember going to Mission Hill. I believe that they had just finished their bell tower that's erected there now. I got to meet then winemaker who went on to oversee all the winemaking for Mission Hill, John Symes. I still have a signed picture of the winery up in my office from Mr. Symes. And it just struck me how beautiful it was. And at that time, they're still coming to their own with their wines. Many people don't know this, but Mission Hill, which is owned by Anthony Van Mendel, he got his money from Mike's Hard Lemonade. That was his. He sold it and then went into the wine business, Mission Hill, and now he's off and running. So they've come a long way since 1992. And I often say to people that, much to Inniskillen is to where we are now in Ontario, Mission Hill is to where British Columbia is. And I often say that a lot of the wineries that are there now owe a debt of gratitude to Mr. Van Mendel and Mission Hill for setting the bar and getting it going at such a high class level. You can argue either way if they still are. I will always believe they are, but they were the flag bearers and who I say are responsible for what ended up being the growth of the BC wine industry. So like I say, the wine tonight we're going to look at is their Shiraz. So let's take a look at it. It's 2017. First thing I notice when I look at this wine is how deep red it is, and it's almost opaque. Like I can't see through that, but it holds its color. Like it's almost a bright violet towards the outer edge, if you take a look and see that. And it's got great viscosity, really thin tears, thick coming down. That indicates to me there's probably a fairly high level of alcohol on this wine. But even sitting here now, I can smell the aromas coming off. I mean, it's really a wine with a lot of volume on the nose. So let's look at it. Definitely black fruit driven, black cherry and cassis and plums, really that black plum. There's a little bit of black cocoa. There's some flint pencil shavings. There's that classic Shiraz marker of eucalypt, a little bit of that green eucalypt that I'm picking up. Some purple flowers, potpourri, fresh turned earth. And I don't know if it's because I'm in the Christmas spirit, but I am getting a lot of nutmeg from the oak on this wine. But the nose is one thing, as we always say, but let's taste the wine. Wow. It's a full-bodied wine. It's brooding. It's rich. There's almost a little sweetness to the fruit, but all that black fruit is there, that black currant, black fig, black plum, black cassis. Getting a bit of dried cocoa and black licorice there now. That pencil shaving is still there. The eucalypt is very present on the palate, not in an off-putting way, but just there. You can notice it. Almost earthy, loose earth tannins. Like they're there, they're granular, but they're not super ripe. They're more on that granular side. They're just kind of falling away. Alcohol sits nicely in the back. Still holding on. I'm going to peg this around 13.5 to 14%. So it's not a nothing wine. There's definitely some heat there. So it's the one you want to be careful with. It's not one you want to sit down and open 2 or 3 bottles by yourself. Maybe have a group with you. But the alcohol is present. It's definitely a complex wine. The more you can talk about the flavors you're getting, the more complex it is. There's a lot to talk about here. Super balanced, and again, I'm still it's still sitting there. I'm still getting all those black fruits, getting a little bit of brambled strawberry coming through now, a little bit of that red fruit, but it's definitely more on the black fruit spectrum. For me, this is something I'd have with some grilled game meats or some grilled steaks, steak and shrimp. I'd just devour that on their patio or on my backyard patio any day of the week. It's in Ontario. It's $22.95. It's not at the LCBO. It comes in through Mark Anthony Brands, and in Toronto, that's Jill Kirk who looks after it. Great individual, so look out for her. But if you want to support again a great local winery with a wine that's to me is that again at that forefront of what Canadiana wine is, they're in the top 2, 3 hands down. They make quality wines like this. Look for their other projects. They've got another series, their legacy series with their Oculus, their Quatrain. They have another project called Checkmate that they've got going on. Their new person in charge of winemaking is the next Niagara guy, Daryl Booker. So even when you're buying these wines, you're still supporting local because he was such a big part of the winemaking scene here in Niagara for so long. So it's a wine you should get behind. If you love Syrah, you love Shiraz, that rich, brooding, like warm the cockles of your soul, this is the wine you want. Sub $25, you can't go wrong, and you're supporting a local Canadian business and a Canadian winery. So happy holidays. If you can, if you're not doing turkey this year and you're doing something more on the grill, pick up a bottle, give Jill a call. You won't be disappointed, and you'll be supporting our local wine community. Thanks, guys. Happy holidays, and we'll be back later in the week. Take care.